And all at once I knew at once, I knew he needed me. Until the day I die, I wonder why, I knew he needed me. It could be fantasy, oh. Or maybe it's because he needs me, 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 he needs me.
So yeah, we're gonna type Shelley Duvall of The Shining and Popeye. And I don't know what else she's fucking in, but she's super famous, and we think
super famous.
Yeah, we think that she's a 6'9" probably, and she kind of fits that archetype perfectly.
She has a very 70 face, 70, I don't know, like aesthetics, you know, like the facial structure. For me, it looks like, I don't know.
Yeah, she has a very interesting, I mean, she did not age well, that's what
No.
for sure. But she has a cool...
Yeah. There she was like very 70s vibes.
So this like tri-affix or tri-type, the 269 one, regardless of which order the core is, it's like known in Enneagram or as the Stockholm. It's also like, if you probably know this type of person in your life, it's like the sacrificial lamb, the martyr, the like
sacrificial lamb is actually a very good name, I think.
Yeah. For them. It's like they're always like trying to help, but they can't really help, and like
yeah, they will sacrifice themselves for the greater good, or the group, or whatever.
But then they'll be like a victim about it.
Internally, maybe, yeah.
Because the tri-affix is like so oriented towards relationships that they like give themselves away very easily to other people. That creates this sort of archetype that's very like that, basically.
Very sacrificial, lambish. Yep.
Yeah, and like it's kind of like wafy and like innocent, like naive, like can be easily taken advantage of, like the helper. Yeah, I feel like probably I've thought about this before. I think a lot of like the rock groupies from like the 70s, 60s, 70s, maybe 80s are like a lot of like 269s and 279s, like because they're kind of like
because you have like both, because you have both the 6 and 2 is like very relationship oriented types, and then you have the 9 which can have big issues with boundaries. So
yeah, that's good.
That naturally results in this sort of personality that can be kind of like a damsel in distress, I guess.
Yeah, and I think that that's like where they get confused with 469s, is like they can have the same sort of like princess, help me, rescue me kind of like quality, whiny quality that sort of overlaps with the 4.
This tri-affix can have this quality to it that's like sort of Stockholmy or like sacrificial, because you have both the 6 and the 2 who are oriented towards relationships, and then the 9 we sort of can have issues with boundaries.
Yep.
And merging, so you get sort of that
easily manipulatable. That's the words. Easily manipulatable. Wow, that's hard.
I've also noticed like this, it's like 2-9 and I think 4-9. I want to say it's more 2-9 than 4-9, but I feel like they get sick all the time. Like this is a theory I came up with a while ago, but I've noticed that a lot of them are always like ill. Like it's like, oh, I can't go to the party because I have stomach problems. Oh, I was late because I'm sick. Like it's like this fucking thing. I know that 4-9s like that, but
yeah, that could be. But also you mentioned how this tri-affix can get mistaken for 469 because they both can have a sort of angst to them, or like how to say this, like a sadness,
victimization. Yeah, like
a sadness,
or
so
yeah.
for example, I know that with Narhanios, oh god, I can't say his name, but you know, Narhanios subtypes, he likes to portray the self-pressed to this way, as sort of being a bit like a damsel in distress, sort of, I think,
Oh yeah.
or having a sort of fourish quality. But I think that also that portrayal is most biased towards this trifix in particular.
Yeah, it's the most two-y of the twos, I think. Like it's the most like you could say maybe 268 is also in that realm, but 269 is sort of the most like
doormat,
kind of weak, helpful fairy, like
like the doormat. It's easy to walk all over them.
Yeah,
that's mean, but it's true.
Yeah, and and she did have that whole drama with Stanley Kubrick where she, after they filmed, she went on all these talk shows talking about how he like abused her and all this stuff, and then it was like she kept coming back to it years later, like how it wasn't right and all this stuff, but she went along with it in the moment. So
it's like a trauma in a way also that they didn't really resolve or something. Yeah.
Hi Thomas. Hello Emily.
We were talking about the 629 as a sacrificial lamb a little bit, like oriented towards relationships and people, and easily that their boundaries get easily crossed because there's like oh no, it's okay, I'll do it or whatever, and then they get taken advantage of like more than regular twos, for example, or like the
I also like associate it with like Munchausen's, kind of like it's like they almost like fake sick a lot, I think, too, or like they're like
maybe it's like a way to get out of stuff, so they have like a reason, apart from not wanting, that they just can't because they're sick, they're just helpless. Yeah,
plus they get attention, or like
they get care.
Yeah,
it's like they can finally accept other care because they're forced to. They don't have to be the carer. They don't have to be the one to sweep the house. They don't have to be the one. Yeah. And then they can receive like help from other people without damaging their self-image, that self-image of being the giver.
Yeah, that's
like
crazy.
Not depending on anyone.
So you guys think she could be a 2 core?
I think she's like a 6 core, but I'm open to changing that. I haven't looked at her for ages.
But it was more that her, like her vibe that she gives off is a little bit, like that, like the sacrificial lamb, the oh no,
the big like doughy eyes.
Like she represents, like she embodies the archetype very well.
Yeah.
Mine's in the right place.
Okay, Shelley, so you say, what's the matter with you first?
Because what's the matter with you means, why are you so angry? What is the matter with you? Then what are you talking about?
Oh, but this is where he lays down, though. That's the only thing I was thinking of. When he flops back on the bed. Since that is new, I thought it fit, what's the matter with you?
If you talk this right, I'd rather say it now.
Well, I talked to her while she was in this country, and I asked her about a rumor then strongly going the rounds that the meticulous Stanley Kubrick had made her do 127 takes of one of her scenes.
I don't know. I think I'm supposed to say 18. But I don't know. I'll leave that to your imagination.
Well, let us assume that 18 is a slight underestimate and 127 is possibly closer to the truth. What is it like doing a take that many times? I mean, is it possible to keep going and produce a kind of freshness at the end?
Yes, it is. It's funny. It's something that I discovered during the making of The Shining, was that I had never done more than, say, 15 takes before in my life. So it was a great change for me to do so many. But then after you do a certain number, it sort of goes dead. And then 5 more takes or so, and it revives itself. And by then you know the scene like the back of your hand, and you can make no mistakes with it. And you forget all reality other than what you're doing. And it's like a miracle. It comes out better than it did before. And it's fresh too.
What was the most difficult piece of acting you had to do in The Shining?
Whew. I think it was just stamina. My stamina has increased so much since The Shining. I mean, you really have to be strong for an entire day, because the role required me to cry all day long, every day. And it was so difficult being hysterical for that length of time.
So how do you look back on that film? I mean, are you pleased to have done it?
I'm very pleased to have done it, because I've learned more on that picture and strengthened myself and broadened the scale that my emotions can reach, I think.
That actually makes me think she might be a 9.
Yeah, she had little 9 vibes. Yes.
It was so positive,
Yes.
like the
super positive, like-
reframing.
yeah, I was thinking the same
But then
thing.
she later makes like a fucking identity out of talking about how awful it was on The Shining. So, and how her hair was falling out and all this stuff. So she does that flip that I think attachment types or people with double attachment maybe can do, where they suddenly realize they got fucked over, or they get mad about it like way delayed, and then
Yeah, but this
Mhm.
seems more, this kind of seems more positive outlook, because it's like in the moment she's like, oh yeah, it was great learning experience, but then later on it's like it turns out to have been really terrible.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the narrative that she has of that is from that positive reframing. And so it wouldn't be until later on, when that is dismantled and a new narrative has been made, that she could probably connect to like the pain and hurt and
If
anger.
anything, that's probably part of why it was so traumatizing, because it's like she tried to, or she didn't like process it at
Mhm.
first. So then when it came up, it's like,
Yeah.
so then it's like resurfaced later to be like,
Yep.
when she
It's not.
realized it actually fucked her over.
Yeah, it's not like something that is resolved, because she's still with the trauma, like carries it maybe with her.
I wonder if that does point to core 9, maybe then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I noticed like with 9s that they have like a little bit trouble to let go of things that's happened in the past and people that wronged them. That's like it's like weighing on them in a way, because maybe it's also hard to confront the person and actually, talk about the shit that happened and get even, or like talk to them about their feelings and how they hurt them. So yeah, I just noticed that with the 9s in my life.
Yeah, because when you have to like advocate for yourself and tell someone that they messed with you or something, it puts you at conflict with another person, which is why a 9 might not want to do it.
But then once they do, it's been such an ordeal getting to that point to face it, that that's like, it's such a big part of maybe how they even see themselves, that process.
Yeah.
So that would be hard to let go of.
Yeah, it's like conflicting. It's like against how they want to, be perceived by the world in a way.
How would they want to be perceived, do you think?
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
They don't want to be.
like good, I don't know, like okay and friendly and chill and not causing fucking conflict, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, not a burden, not a problem.
Yeah. So if they fucking confront somebody with something they did wrong and hurt them about, then it's like it's extra hard or something, I think.
Yeah, because I feel like, of course, 6s can also have trouble confronting people, but with the reactivity, I still expect there to be a bit more like, well, reaction in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. I missed most of the video because my internet cut out, but just seeing like her general look, she looks more like a head type because she looks constantly scared, you know. So
I mean,
whereas
that's
like,
the most the
yeah.
six-ish thing is how she has this like
Mhm.
worried look all the time. Worried look.
Yeah.
Somebody fell on you while you're making this picture. First of all, you finished Popeye in Malta, which has got to be horrendous. And then you
I mean, opening with like you got hurt on this movie set. It's like so Stockholm. Sorry.
fly right to make the Time Bandits. And it was a physical thing. Somebody fell on top of you or something like that?
Well,
Don't say no.
well, actually, our director, Terry Gilliam, was trying to show the dwarves that it was all right to jump off of 4 feet of scaffolding. And 4 feet to them is 6 feet to us.
Okay.
So it was a little dangerous. And Terry showed them how safe it was. He jumped off and landed smack dab on my neck.
Well, did you hurt yourself then?
Well, no, I cracked everything from the medulla to the coccyx, but I was all right.
Well, as long as the
Oh my
coccyx were, you
God.
had a chance to do a lot of great.
That's a little bit more sexy, but
That was
Does
creepy.
have a bit of this nervous energy.
Yeah. A lot of nervous head energies, like a zzz.
Wait, so she said that she cracked everything, but she
Yes.
was okay. What does that mean?
dude, that's a Stockholm thing. Like that is mad a Stockholm thing. Like they are like, I was hurt and all these things happen, but I'm okay. Like, it's like I'm a victim, but I'm not a victim.
Beautiful. Yes.
This is kind of a Stockholm roast. I apologize to the two
That's
sisters.
funny.
No.
I feel like it's like a conflicting thing with a 9 where like you want someone to help you and maybe play the victim, but then that's also uncomfortable attention and being kind of a bother.
Mhm.
So it's like
No, it's okay. I wasn't hurt.
attention.
Yeah. But
Right.
it was
But
okay.
thank you for asking.
Yeah.
It's like, I
I
mean,
was
yeah,
hurt.
kind of, but not really. But
But
I mean,
I'm
I kind of want you
strong,
to
know?
just to like
Yeah.
still help anyways, but then also not make too big of a deal of it, but
Mm-hmm.
or cut through it all and be like, oh no, like you're worth that trouble of whatever, and I'll help you regardless. You want someone to like see through
Mm-hmm.
the deflection.
And they
Mhm.
like prepare these things ahead of time. So she would have known, like they would have kind of organized some of these questions, especially if
Mm.
this is how it opens. Like the celebs always have their little things they want to talk about. So like that's interesting if that was the case.
Do you think, well, sometimes don't the hosts also try and surprise them to get some reaction out of them, or you know what I mean? Out of
Probably.
the script.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you could be right.
It'd be hard to know either way, I guess.
Things, you know what I mean? Now, you don't get the easy ones. The Shining that you made with Jack Nicholson with Stanley Kubrick was set for shooting, as I read, for about 4 months, and it ran to 9 months. And he made you do the scenes over and over again?
Actually, it was 11 months
11 months.
altogether, and I was in London to do it for a year and 1 month. That was a long haul.
But it's tough that you had to do the scenes over and over again. Yeah, remember you're doing all the crying in that picture? You must
Oh,
have
yeah.
found ways to cry that you never knew you had inside of you.
It was 9 months that I had to cry straight every day, all day long for 9 months, 6 days a week.
Now to the Time Bandits and the Monty Python people. I watch those people on television, and they are certifiable. They're very, very funny, but they are certifiable. Are they as wacko in person as they are on the tube? What are they like to work with?
Well, you'd be surprised. They're all scholars in their own rights. They're all Oxford and Cambridge graduates and very, very bright. It's just that they never grew up, I guess. They're really a lot of fun to work with, that's for sure.
But now the premise here is that you go through different periods, and it's like a time warp picture, isn't it? You go through different periods in history.
Well, the film is about 6 dwarves who steal time from Sir Ralph Richardson, who happens to be the supreme being. And they accidentally take a little boy along with them. And they have a wonderful time wreaking havoc, from century to century. And they drop in on people like Sean Connery, who plays King Agamemnon, and Ian Holm as Napoleon. And you might know Katherine Hellman from Soap, plays the ogre's wife.
Now, this picture is going to be a big smash with little people, the kids, okay? As Popeye was a big guy. Kids love you. I'm sure you know that if you do personal appearances with children, they must go crazy when they see you.
They do. I must admit, that did it.
Yeah. But
how do you like that interaction with the, like, oh, wow, can we have your autograph? I mean,
oh, I love it. I mean, nothing makes you feel better in life than to make kids happy. And when they come up here, and that's really the best feeling I've experienced.
Two are confirmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
And
total Stockholm thing. They're so good with kids.
yeah, but I was also thinking this maybe points to 2-wing 3 fact, because she's like also name dropping. It's like I don't know. Yeah, and him and this and this and this.
Yeah, I feel like 2-wing 3 also have the more like the doe-eyed and the sparkly, the bright, like sort of innocent, pretty, cute, like fairy sort of thing. What are you guys thinking, like the 9s here, about like her instincts and stuff?
Yeah, I was wondering about that too, because a lot of like, I don't say sexual, I don't think. I was
gonna
thinking
say
maybe
that.
self-pres, but wait, what?
I was gonna say she doesn't, like, at least in this, like, she's beautiful, but doesn't feel very much like a sexual being. It almost feels unnatural, or
innocent.
like, yeah, she's so innocent that it feels wrong
Mhm.
to think of her that way or something.
Yeah, very childlike.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe SP social.
Which does kind of reminds me of how Anne Arancio like portrays both self-press 2 and self-press 6 as being kind of childlike.
There
Like,
doesn't seem to be like a SOSP
High and mighty vibe.
yeah,
No.
like
Yeah.
detached superiority kind of thing.
No.
She seems very like bright, open, receiving. Maybe that's like the 9-ishness and 2 kind of heart
And
beam
synth flow,
energy.
maybe. And maybe synth flow
Synth
also.
flow, yeah.
Yeah.
She seems so earnest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
she just seems like she seems like prey, but not in the sexual way. She seems like prey in the like oh, we could
kind of
convince
like Bambi.
to like take all of our stock or something to like buy this like shitty thing I want to get rid of.
Yeah, it kind of has kind of like Bambi.
Bambi, yeah.
Like the
Like if you showed up at her house and were like, I had nowhere to go, like she would let you stay there. And then
Mhm.
go on this reality, or she
Oh yeah, for
For
days.
months, for way too long.
Yeah. And she would not complain about it.
Yeah.
No, it would give her purpose.
So far as an actress.
before I get too far down the road, we have a little snippet of this picture, which is called Time Bandits, and may I just set this up so that people will know what it's about. Here we find Shelley and Michael Palin of the Monty Python troupe as Pansy and Vincent, 2 lovers aboard the Titanic. This is from a picture which is called The Time Bandits. Here it comes. That is from the Time Bandits. And your British accent is very, very good.
Thank you.
Did
The editors told me that I fooled them.
Oh, really?
I was surprised about that.
You set out to be a nutritionist.
That's correct. Well, a scientist. I was going to be Miss Einstein or something like that.
Do you still harbor ambitions in that area? The science, chemistry, nutrition, whatever it might have been that you were somewhere they told me nutritionist. Is that true or false?
Well, that's partially true.
Partially true.
Nutrition and diet therapy was one of the courses that I was studying at the time that I got discovered, and by Robert Altman as an actress. My first film was done in the city that I grew up in, Houston, Texas. So I never even had to leave home to become an actress.
But do you harbor the ambitions at all that you have in the area of science?
Well, sure I do. I still subscribe to just about every scientific publication there is. And occasionally pick up.
Do you know what? Like, I don't know if you guys would agree with this. I think like also 269s are actually quite nerdy. Like it's cute nerdy, and it is like a sciencey, like kind of, they like to read a lot of books, and they like herbs, and they like astrology, and like probably astronomy, and like
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that. And maybe like this could point to 6 core. I mean, of course, like 9s are very interested in learning things and stuff, but the fact that she, I don't know, that points out, that amplifies her 6 wing 7 core for me. because she seems like she's I feel like even though she's a reactive type, if you have a positive wing and 2 positive fixes, it could make you seem more like positive type, because she is very, you know, sweet and smiles a lot and stuff.
She's
Kind of
self-deprecating.
like,
But
she's
yeah,
kind of bird-like, I guess.
I can almost see her like dissociating or something though.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
9 over 6, even though I was 6 before, but
yeah,
think
like
I'm
there's
leaning
definitely some of
9.
this. There's definitely some of that in the interview. We've seen that she's kind of disassociating a bit from her pain throat. Like she's definitely doing a bit of reframing and such.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Maybe 9 is secondary.
I don't know. I
Or
think I might think I'm thinking core.
same,
Mhm.
like 9 wing 1 or something.
I don't think 6 core. I just feel like it would be she'd be a bit, there'd be like a harsher edge or like a snappier.
Mm.
Or a bit more reactivity.
The more reactivity, yeah, and just like to have reframed so much of such a traumatic time, and to also the endurance of a 9, you know, like to have been able to go through that. I feel like a 6 would have had like a breakdown immediately, and like, I mean, I
Yeah,
guess
9 is
maybe
kind of the
Mhm,
enduring
yeah.
type.
they can just take so much, you know.
And she said it was like 13 months when she had originally planned on 4.
Right.
It's like that is
And 9 of that was constantly being hysterical and crying.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good the fact that when she did bring up like her like stamina or whatever, and I feel like that is like a core 9 thing, like
Yeah.
everything makes them tired.
Right. But
Yes,
it's a point of
yeah.
pride that they can take pretty much anything, that they made, you know, that they maybe got stronger through it. And
Like they're
Mhm.
both very tired, but also enduring, enduring types.
Yeah, like
yeah,
SP9 taking.
yeah,
She could be
Mhm.
like, yeah, like a 9-6-2, and then she's got like the 6 sandwiched between the 2 positive.
Mhm.
Like containing it from being a total like hysterical. I was abused. I mean,
right.
we could watch her I was abused Dr. Phil one, but I feel guilty doing that.
No, do it.
Mhm.
Do
I've
it.
never seen
Try
it.
I haven't either.
Oh,
Oh.
film a eu déjà du succès aux États-Unis. Was this film successful in the States?
Successful at the box office, but very successful with reviews. We got every critic that was necessary. But the box office, no, because United Artists didn't put a lot of money into publicity.
En fait, c'est un film qui a été un très très grand succès parmi la presse. Les critiques sont toutes extrêmement bonnes. Par contre, le public, pour le moment, laisse un petit peu à désirer. Il ne vient pas en aussi grand nombre qu'on l'aurait souhaité peut-être.
Emily, I feel like you have some similar mannerisms.
yeah, I was thinking that
Yeah,
too. And
I
then
was
I
thinking
was
that.
like,
I was like, she looks like my mom. And then I was like, well, she kind of looks like me. That's funny.
totally does look like you. Like I could see you like doing like a Shelley Duvall for like Halloween or something, like very successfully.
I was just thinking that. That's so funny.
That's
Just to have to like squeeze my eyebrows really thin.
You could
Mhm.
just
Now
do
we're
the
gonna,
drag
like,
queen
watch
thing
all
with the glue
That's
and powder
true.
over it.
or she probably is a 9. She seemed like you can see the 6 anxiety, but it feels like through like a cheesecloth of like creamy 9s.
Yeah.
I don't think he's dead. Where do you think he is? Shape shifting. Do you see him? Yes. How stars descend into mental illness.
The man in front of you is the sheriff of Nottingham. I think there's a worrying disc inside me. I'm very sick. I need help.
Well, that's why I'm here.
No, it isn't, you asshole.
I mean, I'm more inclined to feel like head types are the ones that are going to go really off the rails crazy as they age, but I do think she's a 9.
Are you talking from experience, Larissa?
No, but I could just like I don't know, I could be making it up. I feel like 6s, if they're left alone in the woods too long or something, like And I think she lives in like a trailer in the desert or something.
For a person so charming and so likable, indeed lovable, he can do some pretty cruel things when you're filming, because it seemed to me at times that the end justified the means.
Here's Johnny.
It was a very difficult role. It was a long shoot, and I had to cry, hyperventilate, and carry a little boy and run, for most of the time we shot. And that was about a year, a little over a year. And anywhere between 30 and 50 videotaped rehearsals before we even rolled film. I wouldn't trade the experience for anything. Why? Because of Stanley. And it was a fascinating learning experience. It was such intense work that I think it makes you smarter. But I wouldn't want to go through it again.
Yeah, I think she has to be a positive 4 type. Like,
Yeah. Lots of reframing.
Yeah, lots of reframing indeed.
yeah, and she
Like, she
doesn't
can't help it. Like, she's trying to be critical, and even then she has to sort of add the caveat, like, he's so like lovable and amazing, but then he was actually really cruel. But it did,
But
the
I
end
learned stuff.
justifies
Learning
it.
experience.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that she drops that he's lovable also points to 2 heart. Like why would you describe your director as lovable? The one that who tortured you, that is literally like the
Stockholm.
situation. Like,
It's honestly the last word I expected someone to use about this guy.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, 5'8", like whatever he is. But I don't think she's too core, obviously, because she's not doing like the 2 image stuff. So of being the nurturer and all this stuff.
Inserting herself as that role. She's
Yeah,
just
not
sort of
assertive.
being molded
Yeah, positive
to be.
was
Mhm.
I think we also, I mean, I think we have like a type now, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great.
So I guess SPSO 9 wing. We didn't really talk about her wing, but she seems 9 wing 1.
Yeah.
Also,
Mhm.
I guess I don't have a great feel for the instinct stacking. Whether like maybe it could be SOSP, but there's like maybe earthiness that is SPSO. I think that's
yeah, but also like she's not afraid to get her hands dirty and to work, and she also feels more, more open to everything, to the people. So I think that suggests more synflow than contra. I mean,
yeah.
otherwise she would be at like a different feel about her. It would be like more like looking down upon everything.
I think she's self-pressed social with strong social, probably.
I guess that's part of her
So
charm.
she's so it's like makes her a more open than some self-pressed types, but she's still self-pressed first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you think of her when she was older, I know she's going through issues, but showing up basically like in pajamas seems like a self-pressed social thing. Like to just be like, it doesn't matter. I'm wearing a sweatshirt and hoodie. Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's like self-press 9 to the max, like kind of.
Yeah.
And also this like a 9 wing 1 self-press social. Like a self-pres dom is going to be the one that like bottles up the most trauma, probably, for as long, like the endurance level is probably like the highest until it just like eats them up or explodes and they
get a mental illness.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, like or like Emily, are you waffling like if she's a 6 or?
No, I think like she just has that's just her look, like, of the startled doe, but that might just be a whole the 269 trifix kind of archetype, you know, and sometimes the 6 comes out pretty clearly with her, but like overall, I was like looking at her eyes a little bit more, and it's like the hooded, heavy lidded look of that some 9s have, like, yeah. So even though they're like bright, she still looks like a little bit asleep or something.
Yeah, and you know what? Actually, I think like the 6 core, this is me, sorry, Sarah, if you watch this. I think like 6 like core of that trifix are more like simpy and stuff too. Like they're more like, do you like what I've done, teacher? Like it's more like
Does he have
more
this
overt.
like loyalty or devotion?
I mean, she does have
Yeah.
that, but yeah, it's more like overtly like this kind of like an anxious attachment or something where it's like palpable.
Like they can't help but ask for the validation, and they know that they're doing it and it's cringy, but they can't help but do it.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, 9 wing 1, 6 wing 2 wing 3, probably SPSO.
Yep.